You want to get to peak performance, but you quite don't know how. I'm here to help you through that process. So to get to peak performance comes down to getting your mind, your body, and your spirit in alignment. Now, to get your mind, your body, and the spirit into alignment is a process. But I want to start with a quote that I heard from Jim Collins. And I hope I'm not butchering the quote, but it's a pretty simple one, so I shouldn't be able to. It's from a book called Good to Great. And the book states momentum plus results equals alignment. And too often we want to get things so right and so perfect, so aligned that it just goes through the process. And the truth is, we have exponential growth when we go through our journey. And what exponential growth is, saying it's not a linear thing where it goes like this. It's gonna kind of sort of have a spike, and then you're probably gonna top off, and you might even go down a little bit, and then it might just, after you get past that next hump, it's going to spike exponentially. And too often we want that linear process, and when we don't see that linear process, we feel it's no longer working. When we feel a plateau, we feel it's no longer working. And to get peak performance, the first time is the hardest time. So the first time you get there is going to be the hardest. But I'll tell you this, the more often you get there, the easier that process is going to be. And you're going to know the steps that you need to take. But I want to help you through this process. I want to make it as easy as possible. And so as I talk about mind, body, and spirit, I always start with spirit first. And we always use different words for how to connect to the spirit, that thing that burns inside of us. Simon Sinek talks about find your why, and a lot of people are talking about finding your why. Now, I always talk about the why behind the why, or the who. Who are you? Who are you going to be? And you don't have to go too far into the future. Who do you want to be today? You can start with today if you want. But who is that person that burns inside of you? Who do you want to become? And when you have an idea of that, and a defined idea of who that person will be, then at least you have a stepping stone to go on and say, okay, I know what I want to do. I know where I want to go. Now, the next piece is going to come down to circling a date for what you're going to become. Because in order to get to peak performance, you're going to have to push your body and your mind a little bit. I'm going to be completely honest. You're going to have to push your body and your mind. You don't have to kill yourself, but you do have to take it to a place that it's not used to going. There's a comfortable place that we like to be. And it's right in the middle of pain and pleasure. And usually we do things we didn't even know we could if enough pain comes into the picture, or if the pleasure is so desirable that we can't help but to run towards that pleasure. And most people are going to err on the side of avoiding pain. Sometimes we get ourselves in trouble and believe, all right, I do like the pleasure that I could get to, but I think there's going to be pain associated with it. And so to help people with that, I always say there's more pain associated with not getting to the pleasure that you're looking to get to than there is staying in your comfort zone, looking back down the line and saying, crap, I should have done that. So know that piece and work with your spirit. Get into that impact, that purpose that you want. Know your why behind your why. Why are you doing what you're doing? Get crystal clear clarity on it. I call the 3 C's clarity, commitment, confident. You're clear on what you want. You're committed to get there. Committed. And you're going to have to sit with yourself for a little bit and ask some tough questions to get really, really committed into something. And you're confident. I say you're confident because there is something special in you. that can overcome any barrier that may be in your way. And then the next step is getting that mind-body connection in check. Because you have the goal that you're looking to get to, and you want your mind and your body to be in alignment for when difficult times come, because they usually do. So in order to get your mind and your body in alignment, I always say start with the mind, because ultimately actions are actually secondary. See, oftentimes we think, all right, if I act on something enough, I'll get to where I need to go. And there's truth in that. But if your mind's not playing nice, it makes the journey a hell of a lot harder. And so when it comes to the mind, I say, get your thoughts right and get your feelings right. What are you thinking about? And how are you feeling about what you're thinking about? And where are you learning? Learning is about reading up on whatever it is you're looking to get to, understanding whatever it is you're looking to get to, and taking action on that thing. But don't take action until you have your thoughts and your feelings behind the action right. So get really, really crystal clear. Know your thoughts. Know how to feel through what you're about to go through. Know you're looking to get to that peak performance. And I'll say this. I'm going to repeat it over and over and over again. The peak performance is worth it. The peak performance is worth it. Because when you can say that, when times are tough, that's when you know you're going in the direction that you need to go into. Oftentimes say you have your biggest breakthroughs when you have a breakdown. Life can get tough, but you can still be tougher than any situation that comes into your way. And you can grow through the process. Comes down to perspective. And so that's that mind piece. So train it early and train it often. Consistently train that thing. Train your thoughts. Now, you don't have to go nuts and say, I can do anything. If your mind isn't in that place to believe that, well, what one thing can you do? What one thing can you grow into? And then pursue that. Take action towards that. And so the next piece is the body. We want to take care of our bodies. Because like I said, there's a mind-body connection there. I don't care how strong your mind is. If you're not getting proper sleep, if you're not eating correctly, if you're not keeping yourself hydrated, if you're not taking care of your body, you're just not going to make the right decisions. It's going to be an uphill battle. You might make the right decisions, but it will be drastically more difficult. So make sure to take care of your body. Take care of your engine. And the best way to do that, proper nutrition. I always keep it super simple. I say, I have an 80-20 rule. 80% healthy food, 20% not the greatest food. And I balance that out. Now, I did go closer to the 95 to the 100% healthy when I was overweight and I wanted to get my weight off. Like, I had a goal. I knew what I wanted to get to, and I knew I wanted to get there quickly. And so I was closer to the 95, 100% of the time, eating as healthy as I could. And eating healthy meant avoiding breads, avoiding pastas, avoiding certain carbohydrates, and eating other carbohydrates like berries. You know, I'd eat my strawberries, and I'd eat my blackberries, and I would eat oranges. I would eat my citrus fruits. But other than that, I wasn't too much into the carbs. I would eat a lot of vegetables, and I would eat lean proteins. And if I had fatty proteins, it would be grass-fed proteins most of the time. And I wouldn't overeat as well. You know, I am a component of, there's the calories in, calories out, but there's also the hormonal component too. And so if your hormones, if your insulin levels are spiking up the roof, which they wouldn't be if you're eating the way you're supposed to, and you're staying away from those refined carbs, and also those carbs that are really going to spike your insulin levels up, you should be good in that category. But I'd also make sure not to overeat. I'd eat to a level of sustainability, and I would feel good. you know. But I will say it did take practice. These things can take practice. But the more you do it, the easier it becomes. I also know we sometimes want things to go linearly, you know, and I'll tell you this, that kind of never goes away. My mind still wants this. Our minds just want it, but it never happens that way. There's a process where you're kind of puttering along, and then you have a dip, you come up, and then you kind of dip down, and then you'll skyrocket a vision if you can get past that, like that puttering out, and then you skyrocket up. I don't know why it happens that way. It just happens that way. You could ask Einstein. He actually figured it out, and he talks about the power of compound interest. It's a real thing. And so knowing that piece gets me through the hardship that I go through. And it'll get you through the hardship that you go through too. Going towards that peak performance, like I said, the first time's the hardest time, but it only gets easier from there. And so when you're getting your nutrition right, when you're getting proper recovery, when you're sleeping properly, when you're taking care of your body, you're hydrating your body correctly. Next is going to be the nutrition, the rest or the recovery, and then the exercise. So exercise, move your body. Our bodies are like big filters. And so when we move, when we sweat, we're literally filtering crap out. And we're getting our bodies ready to move. We're getting our bodies ready to go. So you don't have to do a crazy exercise. Everyone's on different parts of their journey. So some people, maybe a 5-minute walk is all they need. Some people, depending on where you're at, one squat, just one squat. And some people are drastically in different areas of their life too. Maybe 100 sprints is what they need, or not 100 sprints, but 10 100-yard sprints is what they need. It all depends on where you're at. But know that exercise is a crucial piece to getting to that peak performance. Because a healthy mind, a healthy body, a healthy spirit, when it's all in alignment, things just get easier, faster. And so I'll go real quick through all of these one more time. I'm not going to repeat the whole thing. I'm just going to go super, super quick. Your spirit, impact, passion, purpose. Why behind the why? Who do you want to be? What goal did you set out to do? What goal did you circle? Put a date on that thing. Because if we don't have a date, we're always going to find a reason to say, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. Circle the date. Get the goal in your head. Get the day you're going to get to it. And then start taking that action. The body. Nutrition. Getting proper nutrition, proper hydration, proper recovery, and exercise. And the mind. What are your thoughts? How are you feeling? And are you consistently learning? See, learning actually comes into mind and body for me because I'm very kinesthetic myself. So I need movements. I need implementation. And the truth is everybody needs to implement to an extent. Some people are different than others. So depending on where they're at, some people can just read something and they learn it a little bit better. I'm a doer myself. So I learn from reading, from doing, from putting it in, from putting it together. And then it's like glue that sticks together and it makes a lot of sense to me. And so whatever you have to go to do your journey and get to your peak performance, I wish you the best of luck. And I want to tell you this, that peak performance zone is the greatest zone ever. Like the greatest zone ever. I'll never forget fighting on live TV. It was fun. It was exciting. And it was worth it. It was worth it because I knew I put in the steps to get to that place. And when you put in the steps, it's worth it. Life will give you what you give it. And so be willing to give as much to life as you can. Because I guarantee you, life will pay you back tenfold. You have a great day, and I'll talk to you later.